Holly again. I just wanted to get on here and make a video about the narcissist lies. Just a few of the lies that my ex told me and ways that he tried to deflect them. One of the biggest lies that he told me when we started dating was that he had a house built for his ex-wife, and he actually told me, he went into great detail about it, talking about how he himself was part of the building, and he wasn't even specific about it. And that's another thing about narcissists, is when they tell lies, they have grandiose ideas and all of that, but they don't get into specifics and details. And I've heard that a lot of people bust them that way, or find out they're lying that way, because they'll ask details about it, and it's kind of like I guess it could go either way. It could be, surprising to them that you would, have questions about it, and, too stunned to answer your questions, or, the more skilled liars could probably, come up with something on the spot. He actually told me that he'd had this house built for his ex-wife and their daughter, and it was in the market that I live in, it's probably a $600,000 or $700,000 house, and he was apparently making good money from the job that he said that he had and all of that, but not that much. And I actually saw the house one night. We had just gotten out of a concert, and we were in the area, and I said, show me the house. And I had no clue that it was a lie at the time. And he said, "Oh, you want to see it?" And I said, "Yeah." And I'd seen pictures of it, but I asked him to show it to me in person. He actually drove over to it, into the driveway, turned around, showed me in detail what each of the different parts of the house, he told me that window right there was my man cave, that window right there was the kitchen, and so obviously, at that point I had no reason to doubt that, he had it, but later on I started to question it, because I thought, it just seemed kind of strange. And the way that I found out that they did not own a house like that was when I spoke to his ex-wife. Things had gotten pretty bad about halfway through the relationship, about 6 months into it, and I had been curious to talk to his ex-wife and just see what she had to say about it. It wasn't really to make myself feel better. I knew she was going to give me the answers that she did. However, not as many. I didn't expect her to tell me as many things as she did about him, but I did expect for her reaction to him to be negative. And as I talked to her, things came out, and I asked her about the house, and I said, the house that you lived in, and she said, "What house?" And I specifically told her the name of the road and all of that, and she said, "No, we lived in a double wide on that road." And I said, "Yeah, but there was the house across the street you said that y'all lived in, that you had lived in the double wide while you were building it." And she said, "No, I've never lived in a house over there other than the double wide that we lived in." And so I discovered that. Well, I called him out on it later and, thought that maybe by calling him out he would, I guess, admit to it and realize that he'd done wrong and maybe repair the things. But obviously he didn't. Each individual lie is separate, so, if you catch them in one lie, it's not like they're going to admit to the rest of them. And I told him about it, and he said, we had a house. He maintained it. And I said, I know that you didn't, because I asked your ex-wife. And he still maintained that they did have the house. And finally, he admitted it. He said, I'm sorry. We didn't own that house. He said that he told me that because he didn't want me to think less of him. That he didn't want me to think, well, mainly because he didn't want me to think less of him, and also he said that he deserved to have a house like that because he had worked so hard, and that his ex-wife had spent all of his money, and that he worked so hard for it, and it was just all, all the money was blown. That was the story he maintained since the day we got together, was that she blew all of his money. And I now realize that that's not true. I realize a lot of things he said about her is not true, and at first I was none the wiser. Why would I have any reason to doubt it? But as I've looked back and I realized the things he said about her, I realized that, it's only going to continue from here on out. I can't imagine the things he said to me, about me, to someone else. And so he admitted that they didn't own the house. He later did say that they lived in it for 8 months while he was helping the man landscape, but they had a house right across the street, so I don't understand why he would need to live in that house. So, and I told him I didn't believe that either. So that was a big one, and it was disheartening to hear, but I mean, that's what you expect from those people. It's just lies after lies. Another big one was